The most fruitful and natural exercise for our minds is, in my opinion, conversation. Other people do not see you at all, but guess at you by uncertain conjectures. I listen with attention to the judgment of all men, but, so far as I can remember, I have followed none but my own. I do not care so much what I am to others as I care what I am to myself. Lend yourself to others, but give yourself to yourself. I am afraid that our eyes are bigger than our stomachs, and that we have more curiosity than understanding. We grasp at everything, but catch nothing except wind. Experience has further taught me this, that we ruin ourselves by impatience. The most certain sign of wisdom is cheerfulness. Every other knowledge is harmful to him who does not have knowledge of goodness. There is as much difference between us and ourselves as there is between us and others. There were many terrible things in my life, and most of them never happened. If ordinary people complain that I speak too much of myself, I complain that they do not even think of themselves. I know that the arms of friendship are long enough to reach from the one end of the world to the other. Obsession is the wellspring of genius and madness. I quote others only in order the better to express myself. The great and glorious masterpiece of man is to live with purpose. No wind favors he who has no destined port. Saying is one thing, and doing is another. My art and profession is to leave. We trouble our life by thoughts about death, and our death by thoughts about life. Life itself is neither a good nor an evil. Life is where good or evil find a place, depending on how you make it for them. He who establishes his argument by noise and command shows that his reason is weak. If there is such a thing as a good marriage, it is because it resembles friendship rather than love. A good marriage would be between a blind wife and a deaf husband. Ignorance is the softest pillow on which a man can rest his head. There is no more expensive thing than a free gift. On the highest throne in the world, we still sit only on our own bottom. Michel Sieur de Montaigne was born on 28th of February, 1533, also known as the Lord of Montaigne, was one of the most significant philosophers of the French Renaissance. He is known for popularizing the essay as a literary genre. His work is noted for its merging of casual anecdotes and autobiography with intellectual insight. Montaigne had a direct influence on numerous Western writers. His massive volume essay contains some of the most influential essays ever written. During his lifetime, Montaigne was admired more as a statesman than as an author. Montaigne came to be recognized as embodying, perhaps better than any other author of his time. He is most famously known for his skeptical remark, "Que sais-je? What do I know?" in Middle French, now rendered as "Que sais-je?" in modern French. Around the year 1539, Montaigne was sent to study at a highly regarded boarding school, in Bordeaux, the College of Guyenne, then under the direction of the greatest Latin scholar of the era, George Buchanan, where he mastered the whole curriculum by his 13th year. Montaigne died of quinsy, at the age of 59, in 1592, at the Château de Montaigne. In his case the disease brought about paralysis of the tongue, especially difficult for one who once said, "The most fruitful and natural play of the mind is conversation. I find it sweeter than any other action in life. And, if I were forced to choose, I think I would rather lose my sight than my hearing and voice." He was buried nearby. Later his remains were moved to the Church of Saint Antoine at Bordeaux. The church no longer exists. It became the Convent des Feuillants, which also has disappeared. 20th-century literary critic, Erich Auerbach, called Montaigne the first modern man. Among all his contemporaries, writes Auerbach, Mimesis, chapter 12, he had the clearest conception of the problem of man's self-orientation, that is, the task of making oneself at home in existence without fixed points of support. The birth date of Montaigne served as the basis to establish National Essay Day in the United States. The humanities branch of the University of Bordeaux is named after him, Université Michel de Montaigne, Bordeaux 3.